Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. Today I'm going to be doing my July ranking. So I'm going to be going through every book that I read from least favorite to favorite book. I'm not going to say really any spoilers. I'm not going to go super in depth about each of these books. I'll just say what I say because I already have reviews and my progress reports. If you want to know more about my thoughts on the books, please go check that out. But starting at the bottom, this is a book that I don't think many people will be surprised by. This is a book that not many people like within the fandom of the series. And in my taste, with how much I loved book 4 and book 1, the original, I have to say that book 6 of Dune was really disappointing. I was really sort of bored throughout most of it. I didn't really like the retreading of a lot of the themes and sort of reintroducing a lot of characters that we already had really fantastic arcs with. And then this book brought them back and didn't really do anything that I thought was worth bringing back these characters for. And I will say, though, that the world building continues to be awesome. I really enjoy what Frank Herbert is doing and the type of world that he is building with this series. But I really don't like the storytelling in his books, especially in book 5, book 6, and I think book 2 is my least favorite of the first 3 because I feel like Frank could have done so much more with that story, and book 6 is even worse in my opinion, where he doesn't really do much with it. I don't know, maybe I misread it, I wasn't paying attention, but this was a big slog for me. And I'm happy to say that I'm now done with the series because this is the final book that Frank Herbert wrote, and I don't know if I want to go into the Brian Herbert books just yet. If I can somehow get a buddy read going, something that motivates me, and I have someone to bounce, thoughts off of, I think that could work. But just for me, like me reading it, I don't really have any interest currently for the Brian Herbert books. But this is my number 6. I have 6 books here. 2, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So I have 6 books that I'm ranking, and this is number 6. So number 5 is going to be one that I really enjoyed. I gave it a 8 out of 10, I believe, on my report, on my review, in my reports. And that's going to be Robin Hobb's Dragonhaven. I really enjoyed the second half of this book. It was amazing. I loved all of the character dynamics. I love the relationships going on. I love the drama. I love everything with the dragons in this series. And as I said in my last video, I think it was the August TBR video, I said Robin Hobb uses dragons the most in this series. They are very front and center compared to the Fitz books, where they sort of make an appearance here and there. But this is the series that is tickling my dragon love, because I love dragons. And I can't get enough of them. I love all of the personalities. I love all the agendas, because they're not entirely truthful to the humans. And some of them are very truthful to humans and are very close with the humans. And when those two dragons come together, it causes tension. And I love that. I love that part of the Robin Hobb stories. But I feel like this 4 books, I was about to call it a trilogy. I'm on book 3 now, I think. I don't even know what book I'm on. Yeah, I'm on book 3 now. But book 3 I am enjoying a lot more. I'm about a quarter of the way through. I've been doing a lot of paperwork for this new job that I have. That's I'm starting on Monday, so it's very quick timeline, which I'm very happy with, because I want to start doing something aside from sitting at home. But I'm really excited to start this new job because I think it's going to allow me to prioritize reads that I know that I will enjoy more. And I think this book in particular, Dragonhaven, I was really sort of looking forward to continuing Robin Hobb and entering the final trilogy of her series, because I love Robin Hobb. I love her writing. I've been reading these books since COVID in 2020, so it's been 5 years. I ended up taking like a 2-year break between the first Fitz trilogy and then Live Ship Traders, which Live Ship Traders is probably my favorite trilogy of all time. If I need to like do a ranking or something, go through my reads, but I really loved all these books, and I'm approaching the end, and I don't know how I'm going to feel. I don't know if it's going to be another Tawny Man video situation where the moment I start talking about anything about the book, I start crying because I was just so deeply affected. And I hope I can hold myself together, but at the time I had just lost my job and everything was not going well, and it was just really shitty, yeah. But I'm happy to say that Robin Hobb continues to make me happy with her writing. I really love her books, so that is number 5. Number 4 is going to be Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. This is the final book in the Bloodsworn trilogy. I loved this trilogy a lot. I don't think it's my favorite series of all time. Maybe not even top 10. I think it maybe is top 10. Again, I need to do a top 10 series video so I can get my feelings down about what series are my top 10. But this series, although the ending was really disappointing, this is the only reason why I have it as low as it is because the ending just really, one part of it disappointed me a lot, but everything else is just so fantastic. And it was a very quick read for me. The prose is quite accessible, in my opinion, and the action is amazing in this. I love the what's it called? I love all the different sort of magical elements in this. I love the different races that we have. We have giants, we have trolls, we have this giant head that talks to our characters. That's probably my favorite side character in these books. But we also have the gods, which I really enjoyed John Gwynne's handling of that. I really loved how it sort of deeply scratched my Malazan itch, because ever since I finished Crippled God, which is book 10, the final book of Malazan, I was like, man, I need more books like Malazan for the rest of my life. This is my favorite series ever. And this, if you're a Malazan fan, you need to read this. This definitely scratches it. It has a lot of point of views. We have about 4 or 5 point of view storylines going on in each book. And then we also have a lot of convergences where things cross over. We have a lot of great sort of twists. There was a really big twist at the end of book 3 that I just really loved. I loved how John Gwynne handled that and sort of took that risk, because it was such a... I think people would find it goofy in some aspects, but I think overall it fits so well with what John Gwynne set up the world as. And I really loved sort of that moment at the end. And that's really what tied the book together for me. And I was a little bit disappointed by the ending, because I thought it was going to go one way, but it went up another way, which I thought was very predictable. And I was kind of like, yeah, it'd be great if the book ended that way, but I love to be surprised. That's one of my favorite feelings to feel when I'm reading, is being like, oh, wow, like, I thought we were going this way, but he did, bam, we went, right angle this way. And this book has a lot of great twists, so that's why I didn't give it a bad rating. I gave it an 8.5. Like, I really enjoyed this book, but I don't think it's some of my favorite books I've ever read. But this is definitely, like, if someone was asking me what trilogy would I recommend a new fantasy reader to read to get into fantasy, this. This ticks all the boxes, I think. And it does it all very well. I really love this trilogy. The more I talk about it, the more I realize how much more I enjoyed it than I thought. But yeah, this is number 4, Fury of the Gods. So that's number 4. And then I put this book here in between the 2 Bloodsworn books. But I put God Makers by Frank Herbert as my number 3. And that is because this is a very short book. It was 200 pages about. I read it in a day. It was very reminiscent of Book of the New Sun, or maybe Book of the New Sun is reminiscent of this. I don't know what came first, but I really enjoyed this book. The storyline was really interesting. I really enjoyed sort of the concepts that Frank Herbert was exploring, all the different gods and different sort of ways that people respond to like deities, and like it was just really interesting. I picked this up on a whim. It was $4, whatever, and I was like, hey, why not? Like, I want to read something non-Dune related by Frank Herbert, and I read it, and it's really fun. I really enjoyed this. It scratched a little bit of the Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe itch, but this is just a great like afternoon read, is what I'm saying. So that's why I have it above Fury of the Gods, because Fury of the Gods is a lot longer. It took me longer to get through, and I don't know. I'm ranking it above because it was a fast read. So that's really all I can say about it. And my number 2, as I sort of alluded to earlier, but is going to be book 2 of the Blood Swan trilogy. This one was a lot more my speed. It was a lot more hefty. It's, I think, 100 pages longer than book 3. It had a lot more shocking moments. It had a lot more cool action that I thought was just fantastic. I loved sort of the mysteries as well going on, because by book 3, you sort of understand where we are going and how everything is related and connected and all that. And in book 2, I feel like there's still that air of mystery. And I love mystery. So I really love the atmosphere of our characters on a quest trying to accomplish a goal, and then something goes wrong and they have to adjust and mitigate whatever is going on. So this book is definitely a little better than book 3, but I think all of these books are 8.5, so out of 10, which is a really good rating for me, because most books I give about 8 or 7, and 8.5 to me is sort of like we're approaching like the really great like works that sort of, I feel like most fantasy fans, if they're a serious fantasy reader, they should read this trilogy, because it's definitely one of the best of the modern, I guess, what do they call it? Pantheon of modern fantasy, because John Gwynne just has really fantastic world building. And I really love the character work that he does as well. So that's why I have it at number 2. And I'm very curious to know what he writes next, because he just finished book 3, I think 6 months ago, because I remember watching the stream of him on a few channels and, you know, talking about it, answering questions, and it was a lot of fun. But I hadn't read book 1 yet, and I don't think he's written and delivered a book in 6 months. So I'm very curious to know what he's working on, and I would definitely be picking it up, because I want to read more. But my number 1 choice, I'm sorry, is book 2 of Worlds of Light and Shadow. This was absolutely my favorite book of the month of July. I fucking loved it. It was so awesome. As I've sat with it, I still don't understand like most of this book, because there's just so much going on. But what I could get out of it, I just love so much. It reminds me of the old school fantasy, like Tolkien, and it also reminds me a lot of Tad Williams, of Steven Erikson, Robin Hobb. Like, Janny Wurts is sort of like the best at everything, because it's not just her character work that I really love in this book, especially Ships of Mario, but it's also the magic system, it's also the prose, it's the characters, it's the magic system. The magic system's awesome. I'm probably repeating myself. I'm just stream of consciousness. But like everything with this book is just phenomenal. The musical aspects, sort of the rhythm of the prose, is just really fascinating to me. Although I do have to say that I have to read this book slower, because I don't understand as many words as I thought I did reading this book, because there's a few times where I have to go into the dictionary and sort of try to understand what I'm reading. And I really, really love this series. It's really cool. It's sort of transcendental, as John from Talking Story says. It's really, it takes you to another world when you're reading it. And that's something that I really love about fantasy, is sort of living and breathing in a different world. And with the way that Janny Wurts writes, you feel like you are there, and you can smell all the smells, taste everything. When, oh, by the way, her food scenes, oh my god, I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it, but anytime she writes a food scene, I get hungry. Like, it is so well described, and she is like such a wordsmith that, like, even after, I think one day I had eaten dinner and then read this book a little bit, and I was like, I had cooked myself Indian. It was korma, very spicy, which is amazing. I love cooking it. And I remember, like, after I finished that, I was stuffed, and I was just reading Walls of Light and Shadow on my table, so it wasn't, resting on my belly while I was reading it. And I was like, and my stomach growled while I was reading a feast scene that she was doing. She was talking about, like, all these bowls of meat and onions and spinach and different creamy sauces, and I was just like, my stomach just so I just want to shout out that particular aspect, 'cause I haven't heard anyone talk about it yet. It reminds me of George R. R. Martin. He is the king of food descriptions. He is definitely someone who definitely gets the reader hungry, because my god. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm really looking forward to getting into Warhost of Vastmark this month. I don't know when I will get to it, but I read about 2 books a week on average this month, and I don't think I'll be able to maintain that this coming month. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think about all these books, and what you think about where I put them in the ranking. Would you have ranked them differently? Thank you all so much again, and please have a great rest of the day.